Here's a multiple choice one. First off, we're being asked to write in symbolic form, and then we'll do the truth table. So we have to take these individual statements and come up with this statement. So it says, you'll bake a delicious chocolate cake if and only if, remember, we're going to circle the connectors and underline the knots, or the party will not be a success. So I'll start with the if and only if, which is the double arrow. You'll bake a chocolate cake. Baking a chocolate cake was P. If you follow the recipe exactly was Q. So what we have is P, if and only if Q, comma, which is going to put this in parentheses. Remember, the comma tells you that what's in front of the comma goes together. What's behind the comma is its own thing. Or is this. The surprise party will not be a success. R is the party being a success. It is not a success. So there's our statement. And you got to be very careful when you look at these for the multiple choice, because you can easily pick the wrong thing. These are double arrows. These are single arrows. Now, all of these have the not R, but we need the double arrow and we need the or. The double arrow with the or is right here. And I will tell you, the first time I did this problem, I picked the wrong one because I wasn't paying attention. So look carefully between the double arrow and the single arrow. This will be a drop-down menu where we have to fill this in. This is what's going to go right there. There's just no way I can squeeze that in right there. So we are looking at the P, Q columns, not the R. We can just ignore that. You could cover that up with a pencil or something. And we are doing the biconditional with P and Q. Remember, the biconditional is true when both simple statements are true. So this is true and this one is true. Also, these two both being false will give me true. The rest of these are false. Not R is very simple to fill in. Let's just erase this and look back at R. Not R says take the R column and negate it. So all of these flip-flop around. This will be false, true, false, true, false, true, false, true. And what this drop-down menu will have is this whole statement. So we are putting together this column and this column using OR. Remember, OR is false when the two simple statements are both false. And that's going to happen right here, and it will happen right here. Otherwise, we are looking at T's. All right, this next one is not going to require a whole truth table. It's just a portion of the truth table. So these are fairly easy to do. My suggestion is you go above the statement and fill in what they've told you. P is false, so I'll put a little F for P. Q is false, and R is true. So now I need to evaluate this, knowing that we're looking at not P, so not false is true. Still and false, because that's what they told me Q was. Biconditional. Not R, so not true makes false. Inside the parenthesis, I know true and false is false. And then when I get to the biconditional, I know the biconditional is true when these two simple statements are the same, so this will eventually be true. You keep hearing me say statements like this, or is false when both simple statements are false, etc. What I wanted to do was tie those statements in with the chart I showed you in an earlier video. So just trying to give you ways to be able to know what entries need to be in your truth table without having to do a whole lot of thought. So, or is false when both simple statements are false. This is or, and the only time you have an F right there is when both simple statements are false. And is true only when both simple statements are true. Here's our and, there's our true, and it happened because both simple statements were true. Now the conditional is false only when the premise is true and the consequent is false. Here's the conditional. The only place we have a false is right here, and it happens here. The premise is true and the consequent is false. Everything else is true. And then the last one, the biconditional, is true only when both simple statements have the same truth value. So here's our truths. and look back when that happened. This happened when these were both true. This happened when they were both false. With the biconditional, you might think about bi like a bicycle has two wheels. So the biconditional is true when two simple statements have the same T, two T's, two F's. So this is something definitely to put on your index card, and you might want to write out these words with the index card. And if you say these to yourself enough times as you are doing the truth tables, you should have them memorized, and then it will make it easier to fill these in. You won't have to keep looking back at your little cheat sheet here.